This is what a 10-pound mystery fabric box from Mood looks like. And honestly, there were a few surprises, a couple of winners, and some I'll never touch again. Now, if you've ever wondered if this box is worth it, especially if you sew accessories or smaller projects, I've got thoughts. Welcome. I'm a sewist with over a decade of experience helping you sew practical, stylish accessories that fit your life. So this mystery box just arrived today from Mood Fabrics, and even though you're seeing this later, I'm too excited to wait. So we're unboxing it now. Ooh, I got 10% off my next online purchase. So this first one is kind of silky. I have no idea what it is. I don't love it. Right now, I'm not sure what I would use it for. This next one, not sure if you can really see the texture. I could see myself using this one. I'm not really sure what it is either, but it's definitely thin and flexible. It's much sturdier than the last fabric. I could see using this on a bag or something, or maybe even a skirt. Well, I don't really make my own clothes. I really like the feel of this one. It's not the prettiest, but it is more like, it reminds me of a tablecloth, which honestly is much more useful for me. The sturdiness of this fabric is much more useful for the types of things I make. So it's much thicker. I don't know if you can tell that, but it's much thicker and much more useful. It is sturdy enough that I can definitely put it to good use. I like this one. Can you see that? This blue. It looks a lot like a denim, but it's not. It's just cotton. It's medium thickness. Of course, none of this says what any of it is, and I'm not an expert in types of fabric. I could definitely use this for something. Now this one has an interesting design. It looks a little bit blue on the screen, but it's black. My only real complaint here is I don't really do black. I like color. It does have an interesting pattern though, and texture. It's very thin. I could possibly use this. This one is interesting. Can you see the pattern in it? It's thick. It has zero stretch in it. I have no idea what I would use it for. It's good quality fabric, which is not necessarily my style. This one is interesting. It's just white. It's very thin, but also kind of stiff. But I do see this as very useful. It's light enough, but thick enough at the same time that it could be really useful as like a lining of a bag or even a lining of a skirt, because it's soft and it's flexible, but it's thick enough to not be like entirely see-through. Well, I can see myself using this. It's like I got a couple more left in here. So this one is black, which, you know, I talked about how I don't really like black, but I do love the feel of this. It's suede, kind of, and it's really thick and sturdy. This is definitely more of like a staple piece. I don't know what I would use it for right now, but I do really like the feel of it, and I like the quality of the fabric. It seems like one of those fabrics, just the moment that you need exactly something like this, it would be really good to have on hand. That's a good staple fabric to have. This last one though, sorry, but this one is hideous. And I have a lot of this one. I don't really know how much of each of these fabrics I have, but I do have a lot of this fabric, and unfortunately not a huge fan. This one's kind of ugly, to be honest. It's thick and it's flexible. It seems to be a really good quality, but unfortunately I think it's hideous. So that's that. Now, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. So once I sat down and took a second look, I realized that I needed more than just like or dislike, because it's a bit more nuanced than that. Some of these are incredibly useful, even if they don't match my style. Others are fine, but forgettable. and a couple I just really don't like. So as you can see, out of the 9 pieces of fabric, there are 2 that I love because they're staples, 2 that I like, but there are 3 that are kind of in the meh category, and 2 that I actually hate. Ugh. So the 2 that I love are these black and white fabrics here. I mean, these are staples. They're both sturdy and would be great for some sort of lining or a project where I need to add a little bit of structure. They feel really amazing, actually. Like, I can't stop touching this one, to be honest.
Not in a creepy way.
There's a lot of fabric to work with here, and this is definitely something that's useful. Plus, given the amount of fabric here, this is one of those instances where the box really becomes useful, because I'm sure that these would cost a fair amount individually, but are really affordable when included in this box. And then I have 2 that I like. So I like the texture of both of these fabrics. They're very sturdy. They're great for the types of projects that I use. Plus, they're not black, so that's definitely a plus. But honestly, I'm not a huge olive green or solid blue fan either. So I like these, but I don't love them. But I do actually like the quality and the feel of them, and think I could get a lot of use out of them. So that's good. These 3 are, I mean, I don't really like this print very much. This is black again, and kind of more black, just with some white sprinkles on it, I guess you could say. Too much black for me for sure, and these are not as practical for the type of sewing I do. And the last 2 I really don't like. I mean, this one, this is a color combination that I do not care for at all. Plus, it's like way too flimsy for me to actually do anything with. I typically make things that require a little bit more sturdy fabric. This is just too thin and too unstable for me to be able to do anything with. Plus, I really do not like this look. It's too loud, and no offense if you do. And this one, oh my goodness, this looks like a 1970s carpet. It's hideous. I can't stand it, and there's so much of it in here too. Plus, it's flimsy to a certain degree, so I don't even feel like I can use it for my projects to hide on the inside or as a lining. It's just ugly and useless to me. So, honest review time. It's clearly a great deal, but you don't know what you're getting. So when I ordered my box, it was about $52 for 10 pounds of fabric, and that actually is a pretty great deal, especially when you compare it to the fact that the fabric that I bought on my own while I was in the store was $60 for just 1 yard. So for $52, I got 9 pieces of fabric, 10 pounds of fabric, several yards of different fabric designs for less than the cost of 1 yard that I got in store. Now granted, a lot of that has to do with the fact that it wasn't dead stock fabric and it is a little bit prettier, but still, that does give you an idea of how much money you're saving by getting a 10-pound mystery box from Mood. So what makes this box valuable? Well, like I said, it's the quality of the fabric and the amount of fabric that you get for the price. What's limiting? Well, no labels, no known yardage. You don't really have a clue what you're getting, how much of it, or the proper care instructions, or if it's going to suit the type of projects that you typically work on, or if it's going to match your personal tastes. And the last point especially is something to keep in mind, because one of the slightly disappointing things for me is that I tend to like bright, pretty, colorful, vibrant fabrics, and I got a lot of dull and muted fabrics, and that's not really my thing. Also, if you're a craft sewer, there's an extra layer of risk in the fact that you don't know if you're going to get fabrics that are suitable for crafting. Some of these are definitely much more suitable for garment sewing or perhaps some home decor, and they really just don't work for crafting at all because they're not stable enough for the types of craft projects that one might typically do. Obviously, it depends upon the person, but at least for me, they just don't quite cut it. Just to give you an idea of what I mean in terms of personal preference and the slight disappointment I had in the patterns and colors that arrived in the box, this is what I picked out for myself in the store, which, as you can see, is a whole lot different than what I got. I definitely would have been a lot more thrilled if the box was full of pretty, vibrant things like this. Of course, that won't suit everyone, but that's the risk of the box. You don't know. Now, this box definitely gave me a lot to work with, so it made me wonder, what other mystery items does Mood have?
Go to moodfabrics.com to find their mystery kits section under the Mood shop. So there's a mystery trim box that has 4 yards of assorted trim. That's definitely a fantastic deal given how much trim can cost individually, and just for $24.99. So there's also an exclusive mystery kit which has 4 yards of best-selling fabric paired with coordinating thread and buttons to ensure that everything is there for at least one project to craft. It contains more than $70 worth of products. There's also a spring mystery kit, which includes 5 yards of lightweight fabric. There's also a knit kit, which includes 3 yards of fabric, 2 spools of coordinating thread, and 1 package of ballpoint needles. There are also 3 designer mystery kits. As you can see, there are even more.
Now, I haven't personally ordered one of these kits, but I can see these being great for beginners who are looking for a project, or people who want a curated experience. They're great for adventurous sewers, or for people who might struggle to pick out the various components of a project. I would imagine, just like the 10-pound mystery box of fabric, that you're probably getting a good bang for your buck. Plus, the mystery can be fun. But just keep in mind, there is a little bit of risk. You don't know what you'll get, or if you'll like it. Okay, side quest aside, here's the big question. Was the 10-pound mystery fabric box worth it? For the most part, yes. But it kind of depends. You're getting a lot of high quality fabric at a very affordable price. And even though most of these don't match my personal taste, I can still use the majority of them in my projects. That makes it a good value fit overall. I tend to prefer bright, colorful, more playful or feminine fabrics. And most of what I got this time was a little dull, kind of muted and heavy. But that could have a lot to do with the fact that it's winter. I imagine the mix might be totally different in spring or summer when Mood Fabrics rotation is a little bit more seasonal. So, would I order it again? Yeah, I think so. But I'd probably stick to the warmer months in hopes of getting fabric that aligns closer to my personal tastes. The price is great, and honestly, it's kind of fun to open a surprise box of really nice fabric. That being said, I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. If you're super specific about your fabric style, or if you're working on a project that needs exact colors or textures, this probably isn't the best option. But if you like surprises, or you're building your stash on a budget, or just curious, it's a fun gamble. Now, if you decide to check it out, I've got an affiliate link below. At no additional cost to you, you can help support the channel, whether that's through getting a mystery box or just ordering something else on Mood Fabrics site. Now let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think you'll give the 10-pound mystery fabric box a shot? And if you've ordered one before, what was your experience like? Now, if you want to see what it's actually like shopping at Mood Fabrics in person or online, then you may want to check out this video. Fun to open a box of surprise. Was the 10-pound mystery fabric box worth it? Say that 10 times. Now, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to why?